Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to this wonderful tutorial. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to cut and sew this beautiful style you all are seeing on your screen. Okay, so keep watching. We are going to be making use of these two materials you are seeing. This is a 2 yards of crepe and 1 yard of jonko so that I'll be using. So keep watching. All right, let's get started. So I used my customer's hip circumference divided by 4 plus 3 inches seam allowance to fold the fabric by 2, just like I'm doing in this video now. I'm trying to measure my customer's hip circumference to make sure that I have the right um width for the cutting of the material. So after folding the material by 2 using my customer's hip circumference divided by 4 plus 3 inches, I am going to mark the length of the gown. Remember, this gown has two lengths, the gathered length and the main gown length. So I'm cutting now the main gown length. I am marking the starting line first of all, then I checked my hip circumference again, that's the wideness. Then I am cutting out the piece that I'll be using. So first of all, I cut out the front piece and I'm using this front piece to cut the back piece. So I'm going to use this front piece now to cut the back. Before folding the back piece, I added extra 3 inches allowance because of the zipper allowance that we'll be needing on this dress. Okay, the dress has a zipper allowance line which we are going to add at the back. Then we are going to place the front piece, give a space for the zipper allowance, and then cut out the main piece again. So we'll be cutting two pieces here. So now we have successfully cut out the back piece using the front piece. As you can see, I give a space of 1.5 inch for the zipper allowance. I can't give more than that. Okay, the reason because if you give too much allowance for your zipper allowance, the back might end up being bulgy, and that is what I don't want to. I'm still going to show you how to edit your back zipper space so that it will not be bulging in this video. So keep on watching, make sure to watch till the end. So now I am ironing the lines down. Ironing your lines down before cutting will help you indicate the center front and the back front, the back center. Okay, the center of the back and the center of the front. So that's why I don't skip ironing, especially when I fold. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my shoulder. Remember the measurements. You're going to start from the zipper allowance line. That's why I'm marking it bad. Your measurement starts from the center front and not from the back front. So that's why I place my tape like that, so that you know where my tape started. I divided my shoulder by 2 and then come down by 1 inch on that shoulder line. Go in by 3 inches from the center front for the neck width, then connect the neck width to my shoulder slope like this. From my shoulder slope, I am going to come down by 8.1 inch for my chest point, which will also serve as my armhole point. Okay, so I am going to connect the line leading from the shoulder slope to the armhole point and then extend the line as my chest line. So I'll place my tape on a straight line. I'm going to mark the points that will be needing on this dress. The 10 inches is for my bust point. The 16 inches is for my waist point. From the waist point, count 9 inches, then you get your hip point. So my hip point is at 24 and I mark the full length. I'll be using 33.5 as the full length of the main basic gown. So now I am going to mark the neck depth of this gown. For the front neck depth, I came down by 3 inches for the front neck depth on the center front of the piece. Then connect it with my hands like this. If you can't, use the ruler. For the back neck depth, I went to the zipper allowance line and I came down by 1 inch. I'm trying to make the salvage end of the material to be straight. Okay, so that my tape will sit very well. I know where I'm measuring. So from the center zipper allowance line, I came down by 1 inch for the back neck depth, connect it to the 3 inches width, and that is all for the neck depth and width this style. So now we are going to work on the armhole. First off, I am going to divide my bust circumference divide by 4. So I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided from the armhole point, and I'll go up by 1 inch as the armhole curve. From the center of the armhole, that's the center, I divided the center by 2 and marked the center of the armhole. Then I went in by ½ inch. I'm going to connect the lines like this from that 1 inch line to here to here. So this is how I connected the lines. Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure that I came up by 1 inch there, right there. So connect it like this. Now I'm going to add extra 1.5 inch allowance for the sewing allowance. I'll extend the line to the bust point, and on my waist point, remember your measurement starts from the center front and not from the zipper allowance line. I mark my waist circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches. At the hip point, I divided my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches, and I extended that same measurement down to the full length of the gown like this. So now I am going to connect it like this. It's just a fitted gown. If you watch from the video, you will know that what we are sewing is a fitted gown. Now, after drafting, it is now time to start cutting out all the excesses that we won't be from this style. Okay, now let's cut. Now we have successfully cut the front and the back piece. This is the front piece. As you all can see, I'm going to place the back piece right side facing right side. Now it's time to pin up the shoulder because we are going to join the shoulder with a ½ inch. Now I'll move over to my machine and join the shoulders. Then we'll come back and show you what it looks like joining the shoulders. So I'm trying to close up the zipper space. Remember our zip is 1.5 inch and that's what we have there. So I'm trying to pin it up. Okay, the zip is going to come up by 1.5 inch, which I later did not use in this video because I thought the cape at the back, that's the collar at the back is going to go up by 1.5. But while I was cutting, I discovered that when I was sewing the gown, I discovered that the zipper, the collar at the back does not need a zip at the back. So please, when you are sewing yours, just cover up the zip. Don't do like I did here. Just cover up the zip. Don't go up by 1.5 to place your zip. Use your whole zip length, which is 24 inches, as the zipper space. Okay, now the next thing is to teach you how to eliminate a zipper bulge. To eliminate your zipper bulge, you are going to mark your waist point to make it visible. Remember, the zipper allowance is 1.5 inch. Now to eliminate your zipper bulge, we're going to do everything on the waist point. On that waist point, you're going to go remove 1 inch. Just from that waist point, go out by ½ inch and leave the 1 inch. Okay, then connect the lines like this. So the only thing you're going to remove on that zipper on that waist point is just 1 inch and connect the lines like this. Then you have eliminated a zipper bulge. This is the easiest way to eliminate your zipper bulge, so that when you wear your dress, it will leave your back is going to be straight and flat and not having some bulges at the back. So take this important sewing tip. Okay, now we are going to cut out the zipper bulge and then place our zip and then sew the zip. So here I'm done joining the zip and the shoulder as well. So I'm trying to take down my shoulder measurement. Okay, my shoulder is 15 and I have 15 here. I'm just going to cut off some small excesses by the side of the back. Now I am going to retake my armhole point as well to make sure that my armhole point is intact. So the armhole point is at 8 and I'm marking that 8 on the other side. Remember we took our measurement on the other side, so we are retaking the measurement on the other side. To shape your dress, you are going to mark your bust point, divide by 4. Whatever you have left, I have 3 inches left. I'll divide that 3 inches on both sides of the gown. So what I have is 1.5 and 1.5 on both sides. Remember, we added an allowance of 1.5 inch when cutting, so the measurement is accurate. So instead of taking down the waist measurement, the bust width, where the hip measurement, just take out 1.5 inch on the points of the dress, okay? Because you will always end up having 1.5 inch as an excess. Just close up the 1.5 inches excess and then shape the two sides. Just connect with your ruler these two sides of the gown and you have something like this, okay? The both sides will be shaped like this. So the next thing I'm not going to join it now because we are going to draft the sleeve now. So I'm going to keep this by the side and let's draft the sleeve of this gown. To cut a sleeve, the remaining material, this is the remaining material, I'm going to fold it like by 2 like this, enough to be able to cut my sleeve. I am going to mark my starting line, which I've already done, and placing my tape, I'm going to get the bicep of my sleeve. The bicep is the bust circumference divided by 12 plus 1, and to get the length, I marked the full length. I'm going to use 8, and the full length of this sleeve is 10 inches, but I used 8 as the first step of the sleeve. The second is going to be with a placket. Adding the placket, it will be 10 inches in length. To get the sleeve that will cover up your armhole point, you're going to divide your bust by 6 plus 2 inches seam allowance, and that is what I did there. Connect the line to your starting line like this. Then you're going to check the center. I came up by half inch, but before you come up by half inch, you're going to check the center of that line. So I marked the center of that line. I've already come up by half inch, so I extended the line, then curve it like this and curve the other one all the way from the down to the up like I'm doing in the video. So right now I am going to divide my sleeve curve by 2, then connect the lines together. So I added half inch to the sleeve curve and then cut out the sleeve. This is just a basic sleeve. We are going to cut the sleeve into 2. After cutting this one, I'll cut out another one, okay, and then cut out. So we have 2 sleeves here. So next thing I'm going to do is to cut the placket of the sleeve, and we're going to use this material as the placket. This is a Junkoso material, and I have 1 yard here. So I'm going to mark 2.5 inches. The half inch, 2.5 inch, sorry, the half inch is going to be for the joining of the placket to the main sleeve. So I'm trying to iron down, make sure I have 2.5. I'm just marking I'm using the iron to mark the 2.5 inch, 2.5, yes, inch line. I'm marking it and cutting it straight all the way. It's going to be enough for the 2 sleeves, the both sleeves. So look at what I'm doing here. This is how it's going to look like. So I'm going to cut out the excesses. I folded the placket by 2 before cutting out. So I'm going to use the one I've already cut out to cut out the other one. So working on the placket, I'll fold in half inch that we added. That half inch we added, I'm going to fold it in with my iron on both sides of the placket. I'll fold in half inch. I'll do it on the other placket as well. Okay, so after folding, I am going to place the main material on top of that half inch and then pin it up like this. Okay, make sure the edge of the material is on top of the half inch and not inside the placket, but on top of the half inch. Then you're going to sew with on your machine like that, and you're going to do the same on the other sleeve. Okay, after that you will find out that what you have left is just 2 inches, and that is what we're supposed to have. So now I am going to join it to the body of the dress, that's the gown. So I'm going to open up the pin-up that I pinned on the at the sides of the gown to be able to install my sleeve. I'm cutting out the excesses that we had earlier at the back of this dress. I'm cutting it out so that we have the exact shoulder measurement on the dress. So now I'm going to open up the pin and place the sleeve on the main body of the dress. The center, we have already used iron to mark the center, so I'm going to place it right this all the way around, and I'll show you what it looks like after joining the sleeve. Close up the sleeve, and this is what it looks like after joining the sleeve. Okay, and ironed down the sides, close down the two sides of the gown. This is how it's looking like already. The next thing to do is to cut the collar, and to cut the collar we are going to measure the round neck of the gown. So let's take the measurement of the round neck of the gown. We are not going to take a round measurement, we are going to divide the neck by 2. Because I've used iron to identify the center of the gown, I am going to notch the center with my scissors like this, okay, to indicate the center of the gown, and then place it like this and place my tape from the back to the center of the gown. What it gave me is 9 inches, 9 inches and two just 2 points. So now I am going to bring my pattern paper, okay, and this is how we are going to cut the collar. I'm going to divide the 9 inches by 2, and what it gave me is 4.5. This 4.5, I am going to first of all mark the starting line of the collar, and then come up by 4 inches as the wideness of the collar. We're going to go up by 4 inches as the wideness of the collar. Then from the center line, I'll come in by that 9 inches divided by 2, which is 4.5. I'll go in by half inch and add 2 inches as an allowance. I'll do the same on the upper side of the collar. I'll divide my 9 inches by 2, add 2 inches allowance. On the down part, I went up by half inch and connect it all the way like this. So next thing is to divide that 4.5 inches again on that new line. Divide it, mark it down like this, and add half inch to it. Connect it to the line like this, here like this, and then on that line come down by half inch and connect it like this. So we are done cutting the collar, and we're going to cut this space that I just marked. Okay, so this is the collar. So the front and the back is not going to be the same. So working on the back, I am going to cut the back on a straight line. So we are going to identify the front and the back here right now. So this is my front and this is my back. So for the back is going to be straight, so I'm cutting off that design at the back, making it straight like this. So this is how it's going to look like. We're going to cut it on the material, cut 4 of it. Okay, so I bring my material and I fold it by 2. We are going to cut 2, and we are going to use that 2 to cut another 2, making it 4. So I'm trying to pin it down so that it will not shift, and then cut. So guys, this is what I have after cutting it out. I have 2 of it here and 2 of it here. I'm going to join it like that, like this, and leave the down space open. Then I'm going to attach it to the gown. Okay, so this is what I have after working on the collar. So this is what I have. I'm going to place it at the neckline of the gown. Now I am going to take the notched and the notched area and the back area, that's the center of the back and front. Place the slanted side of the collar at the front and the straight side at the back. the back is going to be straight while the front is going to be curved. So as you can see, that is how I place the collar. The slanted side is at the front and while the straight side is at the back. Now I'm trying to pin it up, and here I am done joining both the sides of the neckline. I'm going to show you how I am going. You're going to sew there with half an inch. Okay, you're going to sew with half an inch, but before you sew, you're going to place a bias to close it up to make it very neat. So this is how I place my bias. I've not sewn anything here. I'll just place a bias on top of it. Then after sewing, I'm going to close up the bias like this. So this is what I have after sewing. And as you can see, I've already worked on that 1.5 inch that I removed at the zip. Okay, I folded it in and this is what it looks like after joining. So this is the back of the collar and how it looks, and the zip area how it looks. I did not extend the zip to the collar. It just stopped at the neckline of the gown. To get the gathered part of the gown, I am going to place my tape on the shoulder of the gown straight all the way to the full length of the gown. The supposed length of this gown is 40. The main body of the gown is 33. So I'll count from 40 upwards, and what I have is 8 inches. So I added 1 inch, making it 9 inches. That is what I'm cutting out here. I cut 2 of it to be able to go around the gown. After cutting, keep it by the side and measure the down part of the gown so that we'll know where how many inches that we're going to stop when gathering. So I am going to measure around the gown, and what I have here is 42 inches. So I have 42 inches. So when gathering, we are going to stop at 42 inches. So this is my the material that I'm going to use to gather. I've already cut it. The width is 9 inches. So I'm going to join the two sides, right side facing right side, and join it together so that it will be very, very long. And then so I'm just trying to pin down the place that I'm going to join, and then on the down part I'm going to fold it in. After joining, fold it in and hem the down part, and on the upper side I'm going to sew 2 lines and then gather it. Here I am done gathering, and I stop at exactly 42 and half inch. That half inch is in case of excess or in case it did not fit perfectly, but half inch is going to, the half inch I added it is going to fit. So now I'm going to look at how I am going to join it. This is the wrong side of the gather. This is the wrong side of the gather and right side of the gown. I'm going to place it right side facing right side, okay, and pin it up all the way around it. So what I'm doing here is that I'm pinning it up around, and after pinning it up around, I'm going to sew with half inch all the way around or around the gather. And after sewing, this is what I have. It came out nice and beautiful. So I'll go ahead and weave the down part and inside the gown, and we're going to be done with the sewing. So this is how beautiful it looks outside and on the inside. Okay, so we are done with this tutorial. I hope you learned one or two. If you love my tutorial video, please don't forget to like, share and comment. Okay, thank you so much for joining this class, and I hope you enjoyed it. Look at the final look of the gown. It came out so beautiful. So thank you so much for watching. See you guys in my next video. I still remain your number one fashion tutor. Bye.